How's it going, everybody? If you're pressing on this video, chances are is that you just graduated college or you still have an existing student loan payment and you just want to figure out how you could possibly pay this off so you can focus on and invest in other things in your life. My name is Goulet and I want to show you what I did and how I changed my mindset to be able to seek how I could pay off my loans in only 6 months. So I know it's going to seem simple, but I want you to stay through for the whole video so that way you can understand the thought process that's going to allow you to pay off your student loans. All right, guys, so the whiteboard is done now. And before we jump into that, though, I want to basically paint for you a picture of where I was at this time in my life. So I just graduated from nursing school. I just got hired, got my first nursing job at the local hospital on a med-surg floor unit. And I've been studying people, and I know I have these big goals that are going to require a lot of money. And I need to make sure that I can get rid of these student loans so I can focus on that. So let's get into it. So my original goal that I came up with, because if you want to do anything, you need to create a goal so that way you can take the path that leads to that goal. So the original goal was I will pay off my student loan debt within 3 years. And I thought that this was a good idea because, you know, I was basing off my current income at the, from my nursing salary. So if I didn't buy anybody gifts and I didn't go out on the weekends and I didn't take a vacation and I made sure that I saved every penny, I would be able to do this in 3 years. Exactly. So that's not going to work. So the reason that this was a bad goal was because it was based off my current income. The salary, well, it's not really a salary, but the money that I'm making from my nursing job. Yeah, so I was basing it off that. That was causing me to think too small. So I made my goal based off how much money can I save rather than how much money can I make to pay off these loans. So that's basically what I was going off of. Then I ended up reading the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. If you guys don't know who Grant Cardone is, he's basically this big real estate mogul. He's like, I think he's a billionaire at this point, or he's very close to it. He owns massive multifamily properties, and he's, in the media. He's a great marketer. He sells courses, all kinds of stuff like that. So I was very infatuated with this guy. He's a great person to learn from because he has a brilliant mind. So basically what he said contributed to a lot of his success is being able to 10 times everything that he originally had programmed into his mind. So if he thought he was working hard, he's like, okay, well, how can I multiply my effort or my efficiency or production by 10 times? How can I set goals that are 10 times? How can I love my wife 10 times more than he's currently doing now? So a big thing and a big concept that he would teach on was basically that most of the time when you set a goal, you're going to fall short. So I'll show you guys an example of this and how that's going to play in. So for example here, we have Exhibit A, and this person, we'll call these rewards or these goals like level 5. So we'll say level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and level 5. So this person's goal is setting it just at what he can see and what he thinks is possible for himself. So we'll call this a level 1 goal or a level 1 reward. So this person sometimes will either go like this and fall short and not get the goal because it's not interesting enough or exciting enough to keep that person's attention. So they might just fall off and not even complete that goal. Or best case scenario, what's going to happen is they end up getting it. So you might say, oh, well, that's good. I mean, I could still end up getting the reward, but you're also leaving all this on the table. So for Exhibit B here, what he recommends is he says to make your goal so outrageous and so large, and in this case, it's paying off a big fat student loan debt so you can focus on other things. So for my original goal, it was based off my current income, so I was like, okay, I'll pay it off in 3 years. So for him, he was saying, set your goal so high, which in my case is paying it off in 1 year, and then what will happen is that you might fall short. Now, best case scenario is you go and you end up getting your level 5 reward. But even though I fell short here, which happens most of the time when you set your goals, you're still better off than if you're Exhibit A and you started off with just a small goal in the first place. So from an academic standpoint, imagine that you needed an 80 to pass a certain exam, in your college or high school or whatever. And I'm sure, you've all been in that situation. So if you need an 80 to pass and you studied like you need an 80, you're really probably going to get a 75 or a 70. But rather, if you study to get a 90 or a 95 and you fall short on there, so say you might get an 85, you still ended up getting something more than an 80, so that was more than your goal. So we should be shooting past the goal that we actually want, because that way if we're working for something more than our goal, and if we fall short, we still passed our goal. I hope that didn't go over your heads. So even an example here, say you wanted to pay off your student loans in 1 year and it took you 14 months instead or 15 months instead. That's still way better than 3 years. So it has to do with training your thinking. Now, what's important when you think this way is that if you're aiming so high in something that's the reward is huge and it's exciting, it's going to keep your focus. If it's something boring like a level 1, it's not going to keep your focus. You're going to get bored and you're going to fall off and not be focused on that goal or really care for it anymore or think that it's not possible, all kinds of stuff like that. But if you think big enough, it's going to keep your interest. It's going to stay on your mind. And now that your mind stays on it, your mind is naturally going to try and seek the solution for that problem. So that's why goal setting is important. Now, the worst thing that you can do is when you're setting a goal, even if it's like paying off your student loans or honestly anything in life, you don't want to be like Exhibit C here, who has all these potential rewards around them and they haven't even set a goal. So they could go at this one if they wanted to, they could go here, but they have no direction, no goal, didn't get a pen and a paper and write out their goal for that year or that month or that week or whatever. So writing down your goals is huge, because when you do that, your mind can focus and your mind will find and seek a solution to be able to come up with that goal. So, all right, enough of that teaching. So let's get into the number portion, so that way it can break down for you guys. That way it could be a more attainable thing for you guys to do. So I'm going to show you what I did, which honestly helped me pay off my student loans. If I didn't read this book and I didn't write this down on paper, I would have never been able to do that. But I want to show you guys because I think student loans are a huge problem right now, and I want to teach you guys how to do it too, because it feels great to not have to pay these anymore. So let's say your new goal is pay off your student loans in 1 year. So write out whatever you owe for your student loans. So an example, I know a lot of people are spending a whole lot of money on student loans in college because they like to take advantage. So we'll say $100,000 a year. A lot of people I know are right around that range. You might be 15 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand, whatever it is. Now, divide 100,000 by 12. So how many months? You're going to end up with $8,333 a month. So you might say, wow, that's a lot of money. How would I ever pay that? So hold on. We're going to get into that on the backside. So now, what's $100,000 divided by 52? I think it's like 1930 or something like that. Let's even round up. We'll say $2,000 a week. So now you're looking at $2,000 a week, roughly. You know plenty of people that make $2,000 a week or $2,500 a week. It's so possible. So it's going to take a different level of thinking, but we'll get into that on the backside. When I break it down, it seems so simple, but it's going to help you guys a lot. So $2,000 a week. Even if you made $2,500, you could live off $500 or try to, depending on your situation, and then pay off with the other $2,000. So on the backside, the way my schedule was set up, I work at the hospital 32 hours. So I'd work 8-hour shifts. And it was basically, 4 days, so it'd be 32 hours a week. So that's basically what my schedule would look like, making money-wise. So what's our goal weekly? 2,000, right? So we're looking at 2,000 is the number that we need every week. So how much money are we making here? These are already filled time slots. This is for sure money. let's say I made $1,000 a week working those four days. So now, what's missing? I'm missing $1,000. So my goal now isn't necessarily just to pay off my loans. My main focus should be on how can I make an extra $1,000 a week? Well, that's a lot of money. I wish I could just figure out how to make $1,000 a week. But ask yourself the question, how can I make an extra $1,000 a week? Do you have any skills? Do you have things that you don't use anymore? Can you help somebody, with like a labor job, or is really anything? There's plenty of people hiring that will, hire you. But my advice would be to find a skill that you get paid off of by production or sales or something like that. So that way you can put in basically as many hours as you need or work as fast as you want, and you would be able to market yourself so you can fill up a lot of these slots. So we're going to get into that. So $1,000 a week. So maybe you can work 1, 2, 3 days because you have 3 slots open, right? So 3 full days at least. So instead of, sitting back watching Netflix and complaining about your student loans, let's try and fill in these open days with ways to make money. So you could make about $333 a day times 3. That'll give you $1,000. Or what you could do, like in my situation, if I didn't have anything to do on these days, I could pick up more nursing shifts. What I did, for me that worked, was I have a skill. I do construction, I could do carpentry, I do a lot of painting. What got me to be able to pay off my student loans, I was doing a lot of painting because for some reason that's what a lot of people needed at the time, and that's what they wanted to hire me for, and it's awesome. So I sat there and said, man, how can I make $300+ a day? I'm not even making that now. So somebody posted, hey, I'm looking for a painter. So I said, okay, awesome. Because now my mind was seeking, how can I make more money? I knew that's what I needed to get done. So I saw someone post that. I said, oh, well, I know how to paint. She says, oh, awesome. I totally underbid this job. I think I charged her $1,000 or something, and I painted basically the whole inside of her house. I was there all week. So much work. I was working morning to night. It was just a bad job. But at the end of the day, none of that matters because I still got my $1,000 at the end. So I completed that, and I said, wow. So now what I did is I used the power of social media, and I started posting all my videos and saying, hey, this is a before and after of the paint job I just did. So now I have a great support system. I have a lot of people that love me and that want to help me succeed. So they were sharing my videos, and then other people were seeing these videos, and then they were messaging me and said, hey, I need painting done too, blah, blah, blah. So I was able to fill here, make $300 here, make $300 here. I might have a day off, but then I'll work in the morning here. So we'll say, see you when for construction. So all of a sudden, I'm starting to fill all these slots open. And what's wonderful about nursing is that, say I had all these work all week, so now I'm making my $2,000 payments. And now I get towards the end here and say, oh man, I have no job that I can, that I have here. The thing that's awesome about nursing is that I could start picking up shifts here. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, not that I would work 7 days a week, but you could work a double. So I could work the morning and the second shift. And then I can work the next day. I might do a double, but whatever it is, I need to make sure that I'm meeting that $2,000 limit. And it's going to take a lot of time, and it's going to take a lot of effort. There might be a lot of different ways that other people would do this, but I'm showing you what worked for me. And it was awesome, and you can start to have fun with it. Like I said, you want to try and do something that you can almost work for yourself. Maybe you have to go learn a skill and take a couple months to learn a skill that you might be able to monetize after that. And it's cool. I came out with t-shirts. As you can check this one out. And I was using that to even market myself, and a lot of people were enjoying that. And not that I really made money off them, because I was basically just breaking even, but it was fun and people loved being a part of it, and it made them want to support you more, which would ultimately cause me to fill more slots. So after 6 months, I ended up paying off my loans, And yeah, it was just fantastic. And it was a very big number. I'm not going to get into that right now, but I'm shocked that even happened. I still don't believe it. And yeah, it's just totally possible. So I want you guys to take this in and not just get overwhelmed and just say, yeah, whatever, it all sounds good, but really practice and try to get your mind to focus on how can I make $300 a day, or your number might be $500. Your number might only be $150 extra a day. But you need to sit there and meditate on that and focus on that question, and your mind will seek out the answer. Just keep focus on it, and you guys will be able to pay off your student loans, take control of your life, and be able to invest in other areas that you want. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked anything or if you have any comments, just yeah, let me know. I would appreciate you if you could subscribe. But I'm just trying to help people take advantage of their lives the way I have, and just basically show them as an example of what I did, and hopefully you guys could take some advice. Maybe you like something, maybe you don't, but whatever. I'll see you on the next one.